Shaylin is in Saskatchewan. Hi, Shaylin. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So, my husband and I own a small construction business, and we are often making large material purchases upwards of $10,000. So, how do we do this without using credit cards? We're debt free personally and with our business, but we use a credit card to make business purchases online and over the phone. And we don't have a problem with paying it off, but we want to get away from credit cards. So, what debit cards do you recommend for large online business purchases?
You'll have to customize your debit card with your local bank the way we have, because a large
Okay.
singular purchase won't fly with most debit cards unless you've got it set up. Most of them have pretty
Right.
stringent daily limits and single purchase limits. And
Yeah.
but you can have that customized. Like, I don't walk around with a debit card that limits me to $1,000. I mean, I may buy something
Yeah.
expensive because I've got the money. And so, obviously, the relationship I have with the bank allows me to do that. And you've got to do that with a good local bank and set your debit card up. And then, obviously, you have to build up the business savings. It's called retained earnings, to be able to cash flow this on behalf of your clients until you get the money back from them. Obviously, when you're ordering something, you're passing that cost on to your customer, and you're getting the
Yeah.
money back as they pay a draw on the construction, or as they pay for the construction project being completed, one of the two, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a 30-day thing maybe. And
Okay.
so, you're just going to, you need a prime the pump one time. If you had $20,000 cash sitting in your business checking account and it just rolled over all the time, it would drain down
Yeah.
some, and then it would come back up when you got paid, and then it would drain down some,
Hmm.
and then it would come back up when you get paid. And you just set a limit. I don't go below $15,000 cash in my business retained earnings because I need that much to cash flow these purchases and so on. And so, yeah, it may take you a little while to get there. The other thing we did, because we didn't have the money to cover it in the early days like that, if we were purchasing something here, like let's say we go and buy, in the old days, maybe we buy 10,000 copies of a book that we're getting ready to sell. And then we ship those books out to bookstores, and we ship them out through the distributors, and it may be 2-3 months before we get paid on those. And so what we had to do was just go ahead and build the money up to pay for the order period. And then when the money came back in off of the sale of those books, it was as if it was all free money, because we didn't have anything
We
owed.
won.
We didn't have anything owed against it. It was the 100% check, right? We'd already paid for the cost of goods sold. We'd already
I've
paid for the materials.
I've done a few home projects over the years where the builder comes and says, "Here's what your material costs are going to be to get out the door to get started," and they required that
Up front.
front.
Yeah.
And so I actually gave them the money. That way, I'm not going to walk, and they're not. So, and I've heard horror stories about that where a GC can walk off with your prepayment, but I like that option too.
Yeah, change your terms. That's what I was leading to,
Yeah.
was on the books. We had to, if somebody wanted an unusually large order that we couldn't cash flow, we just had to require a deposit of 50% up front,
And that pays for the books.
and that actually paid for more than the books. It paid for some more because we don't have 50% in them. So our cost of goods sold is not that high. And so we had to change the terms of working with our customer.
But I
And-
love that what you said about if you get 20 or 30,000 bucks in your account, you become your own bank.
Yep.
And I love that way of operating.
Yeah, and it's real clean. I'll tell you the other thing that's weird is it changes what you're buying and how you're buying it, because it's like real money. When you're doing it with debt, it doesn't feel like it's real money. But when you're pulling your money out of your checking account to make this purchase, you're like, you have this moment where you just make sure it's all right.
You measure to the fence post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't think about that when you're just slapping a plastic down. We got to take care of it later. Just get it. Just get it. We got to get this going. We got to get this. And you get sloppier when you're using borrowed money. Less wise.